This is Kurt from DIY 4Buy. We're going to talk about clocking rings for a little bit. We get a lot of phone calls about them, a lot of questions. Some guys ordering the wrong part number for their application, what they're trying to do. So we just want to talk about them real quick. We got the two different clocking rings. They're almost the same. We got the 00046P and the D. You can see the differences here. The countersunk hole and your threaded holes, the position and how they relate to each other. And then on the D, it's just the opposite side. Now, our clocking rings are designed to take the front output up. So the P clocking ring is going to take a passenger side output drive shaft and it's going to roll that up. The D is going to do just the opposite. It's going to take a driver side drive shaft or the driver side output and it's going to roll that up. Now, if you guys are trying to take it down, you can do that. You just order the opposite one. So the P would take the driver's side down and vice versa. So just want to try to straighten that out and clear the air a little bit so everybody understands that. That's pretty much how the kits work. With the kit, what you get is one ring, the 6 countersunk socket head screws, the studs, and the 6 nuts. What you're going to need beyond that is a couple Allen wrenches, 3/16 for the studs, and you're going to need a 7/32 for the countersunk. And then you'll need some silicone, and we recommend some blue Loctite on these studs. That's pretty much it. That's all you need to install it. Of course, you know, you're going to be probably wanting to change out some shift linkages and things like that and make that all work. But that's pretty much it as far as the kit goes and what you need to put it together. We'll show you how we put one together. I do recommend making gaskets for this if you have the capability to do that. I just think it helps it seal better. But if you don't, a lot of guys do use just the silicone on the surfaces and get by with it, but I recommend the gasket. So we'll do an install here real quick and we'll give you some tips on that. And be right back. Okay, so we're going to do the installation now on the clocking ring. We're going to get it bolted to the transfer case. The 6 screws that hold this to the transfer case, your countersunk screws, they are not all the same. One of them is different. It's an indexing hole. So this is only going to fit on here one way. So what I like to do before I start using any gasket sealer or anything like that is I'll find that spot and then I'll make a mark up here on top, someplace on the ring in the transfer case, so when I go to stick it on, it's lined up and I know all my screw holes are going to go right in. So that's how I get things ready to go. Like I said before, I recommend using a gasket on here, and I just do the black silicone. So we're going to go ahead and start putting some silicone on here and get this set up and ready to go. So, okay, we're just finishing putting the ring on here. I wanted to talk about the position of the threaded holes here for just a second. The first threaded hole away from the countersunk will raise the output of your transfer case approximately 2.5 inches. At that point, you know, you're going to get quite a bit better ground clearance, and you may or may not have to modify the floor a little bit to get that to clear. Like I said before, you'll probably have to modify some shift linkages, things like that. But at the second position, you're moving this transfer case output up a full 5 inches. At 5 inches, you're pretty much guaranteed floor modifications. So just be aware of that. You know, you see that coming when you're getting into this thing. Just the way it goes. You're bringing that up. But at the 5-inch position, you're going to have a flat belly on your rig. A lot easier to put skid plates on and things like that. We've got all our studs in, and except for the last set here. One thing we like to do is we like to put a little bit of gasket sealer on the countersunk screws, just to help seal them in, and it keeps the vibration down and things like that. And then one other thing, these the studs, we Loctite those in, just a little bit of blue, so so you can take them back out if you need to. When you're putting these studs in, don't go overboard on the torque on them. If you torque them too much, you'll end up pushing this ring away from the transfer case. So really, all you need as far as torque on these studs is just snug. You don't got to get crazy with it. That's plenty of torque right there. There's no need to go any heavier than that. The countersunk screws, you can get pretty aggressive with those, 30-35 foot-pounds if you want a number. I just make them good and tight. That's pretty much it for the transfer case half of this. Now we're ready to sling it under the truck and bolt it to the transmission. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're finishing up our installation on our transfer case with the clocking ring. Earlier in the video we talked about not over tightening these studs. So we just wanted to show you here real quick, when you do the last little bit of tightening on the studs and the nut setup here, you need to go ahead and get the Allen wrench back in that stud to prevent from tightening that stud when you're tightening up these nuts. So make sure you get that Allen wrench in there and just hold that. Prevent that from tightening more as you tighten the nuts here. That's it. It's installed. Clocking ring is in. We're up and out of the way, and hope that clears everything up. Thanks, guys. See you later.